So chapters 15 through 18 uses the acronym CHAIRS, and I'm going to be covering conquest and hierarchy. Men and women are designed by God to need both love and respect. When husbands show unconditional love to their wives and wives show unconditional respect to their husbands, marriages become stronger and happier. What husbands need, the respect side. For conquest, husbands want to achieve and work hard. They feel good when this is appreciated. If I start calling the fixing the leaky faucet a conquest, will you cheer me on like I'm passing the finish line at a marathon?
If I told you something was wrong with the faucet, I don't think you would even try to fix it. I think you might look at it and be like, nope, call someone. So no, I'm not going to cheer you on the way I would cheer you on at your next marathon.
So how about if I did fix it? Or if I attempted to fix it?
If you did fix it, I would be extremely excited for you.
Would you give me roses?
No, I'm not going to give you roses.
Hierarchy. They feel responsible to protect and lead, like being an umbrella over their family. What wives need, the love side. In Ephesians 5:33, we're reminded that husbands to love their wives just like they love themselves. This means showing care, kindness, and making wives feel special. The key takeaway for wives. Dr. Egrich's respect test teaches that husbands feel deeply cared for when their wives show respect. For example, saying nice things about his work or decisions, appreciating how he protects and provides, speaking positively about him in front of others. Most husbands will light up or even get emotional when they feel respected. What the Bible says about marriage. In Ephesians 5:33, husbands need to love and wives need to respect. In 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 through 2, wives can influence their husbands through respectful actions, not just words. In 1 Corinthians 7, verses 33 through 34, marriage divides attention between God and caring for your spouse, and that's normal. Spouses are called to care for and please each other as part of God's design. Why this matters. When husbands and wives focus on giving what the other person needs, love or respect, they break out of the negative cycles and build a stronger, more peaceful, and happier relationship. When we get stuck in a disagreement, what's one thing I can do that instantly softens the mood besides looking confused and apologizing?
Well, I think trying to see my side or listening to my story is probably what will get me less on the defense, right? Like, hold on, let's stop. Listen to what I'm actually saying. Can you possibly understand where I'm coming from? Even if you can't, but you act like you can and you don't get on the defense, I think that will it shows that you're trying, right? It shows that you're trying to understand my side. It shows that you're not just thinking about your side of the disagreement or what I did wrong, or how you're the winner of the agreement, whatever. But it just shows that you're realizing, there's two sides to this disagreement. Even if you don't understand my side, you're trying to understand my side.
So looking at the situation from your perspective.
Right.
So kind of like the pink lens and the blue lens. Interesting. So in chapter 16, conquest, appreciate his desire to work and achieve. Men and women see life differently. This is just what you were talking about. It's kind of like wearing glasses with different colors. Men often value respect as much as love, and their work is a big part of who they are. Women, on the other hand, usually focus more on love and relationships. Respect versus love. Since respect is so important to me and love is so important to you, what's one thing I can do better to show you unconditional love?
We've talked about this a lot, and I think my love language is acts of service, right? So when he does things for me, like makes me my cup of coffee in the morning and brings it to me, that is huge. That shows me that he loves me. Now, the other side of that is being consistent with it, right? Don't just do it once a week, twice a week, but try to consistently do it 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times a week, every week. Like, don't stop that. Once you stop that, I think as women, we tend to be like, what the heck? You were bringing me coffee and all of a sudden you're not. Are you mad at me? What did I do? Like, now I got to go get it. And, you know, women, we think on emotions, right? And with those emotions, it might cause us to spiral into asking ourselves so many other questions that's just not even, it's dumb, but it's just how we're made. Like, unnecessary. So, definitely for me, acts of service, him washing the dishes, him washing the clothes, him asking me, hey, do you want me to take the girls to school this morning? Yeah, absolutely. Or I'm going to stay local around work. Can I pick up Emma from school? Oh, yes, thank you. Right? That's definitely ways that he shows me unconditional love. And that's important to me.
Filling your gas tank?
Yes, filling my gas tank too.
Why work matters to us men. For many men, working and achieving things, it feels important. It's almost like part of how we're made. The Bible talks about how God gave Adam work to do before creating Eve in Genesis 2, verse 15. So when men lose their jobs or can't achieve something, we might feel really upset or even lost. If someone tries to comfort them by saying, it's okay, we still love each other, it might not help because we're worried about losing our role as a provider. What do you think about the idea that God gave Adam work before creating Eve? Does it help explain why we feel so tied up in what we do?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that you guys find a lot of self-worth in your work. I also think that if business is not doing well, you put up a front and I don't see that, right? You're not emotional. Maybe you don't want to worry me. So if things are not going your way or business is not doing good, I don't know that I can tell that you're extremely upset or anything like that. I think you're just like, I'm going to make it work. I just got to get my butt back in there and we're going to figure something out. And you try not to show any negative emotions, about it.
Do you recall when I used to turn to vices?
Oh, yeah.
To emotionally numb myself because I didn't know how to really find my identity in Christ?
Oh, yeah.
And how did that make you feel when I did wear my emotions on my shoulder and you could see the worry in my body language and my tonality and the way that I treated you?
It was hard. It was, well, with substance abuse comes a lot of other things. Lying, sneaking around. So you turning to vices because work was not working in your favor just added a whole lot of tension and stress and a bunch of negative factors to our marriage. There was just nothing good about you turning to vices at all.
How men and women work together. It's like being on a team. Everyone has a job that's important, but those jobs might look different. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 11, verse 9, that men and women were created to work together, not for one to be better than the other. Balancing work and family. Sometimes us men can get so focused on work that our wives, they feel left out or neglected. This is why it's important to check in and ask things like, have I made you feel unimportant because of how much I work?
In the past, yes. I used to consider myself a single mom, even though I was married. There was a time when he worked in a different state, and I did everything. Obviously, he provided financially, but we need more than just financial. I was here cooking the meals, taking the girls to school. I was working, picking them up, taking the extracurricular activities, going to bed alone at night. Like that was rough. And I definitely felt like work was way more important than his family was.
How can I make sure you feel loved and valued while I'm focusing on work?
I would say...
Bring a coffee?
No, I would say when you're at work, you're at work. But when you're home, be home, be present. And I think you do a really good job at this. Sometimes, a phone call will come in and it's work and you have to take it, and by all means go take it. But if you're going to be home, understand that we don't see you all day. And so we're going to want to talk to you. We're going to want to share our day with you. And so just be there.
Present.
Yeah, be present for that. Listen to me. Listen to both of your girls. If you're home and Juliana needs to be taken to school for choir practice or theater or whatever, say, hey, I'm going to take her. It'll give you that one-on-one time that you don't really have with her throughout the week. I don't think you get much one-on-one time with either of the girls until Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just taking
on the way to school.
Yeah. So before you go into work, just making that time that you have at home more intentional with me, Emma, and Juliana.
Awesome. So the main point of chapter 16 is men and women are like teammates, kind of like being on the same squad, but each with a very different playbook. Men are out there needing respect like it's the last cold beer at a tailgate, while women need love like it's the last slice of cake at a party. When we finally figure out what the other needs and deliver, well, that's when the magic happens. Suddenly, it's like the perfect touchdown. Or, better yet, a high five that makes you feel like you just won the Super Bowl. It's all about balance, knowing when to lead, when to follow, and when to shut up and just pass the ball. In this game, every role is crucial, and everyone's got a part to play to make the relationship work. In chapter 17, hierarchy is covered, to appreciate his desire and to protect and provide. In this chapter, Dr. Emerson Eggerichs dives into the idea of hierarchy in relationships. Men, like marathoners, often feel an internal drive to lead and protect, thinking of themselves as the umbrella for their families. And no, that's not the kind that's like a fashion statement, but the one that keeps everyone dry when things get stormy. This is less about flexing muscles and more about providing strength and security, kind of like the mental grit you need to push through a 26.2 mile race. For women, understanding this drive for leadership is like a key strategy for winning the marathon. It's not about making the man feel like the boss, but about recognizing his natural desire to lead, protect, and be the one who says, I've got this in tough situations. It's all about respect. People knowing when to let him take the lead and when to sweep him off his feet with a thank you. I appreciate you. Egret stresses that this hierarchy isn't about one person being better than the other. It's more like a marathon or a jiu-jitsu class, where every role is crucial for success. In both, you need everyone to play their part. Whether you're pacing yourself for the long haul or executing the perfect technique to get the tap. Women bring the nurturing and support. Men, we bring the leadership and protection. And together, we create the perfect team. Think of it like a well-timed rear naked choke, or pacing yourself through a marathon. You need both partners to know their strengths and to work together to cross the finish line. In the marathon of marriage, what's one area where you think I should run ahead, and where should I slow down and let you lead the way?
Oh, this is tough.
Bring you more coffee?
No. So there's a time where I was really sick and I couldn't hold down the fort, you know. A lot of our marriage has been he goes to work, brings home the bigger paycheck that pays for the most expensive things. And I go to work part-time and I make a little bit of money, but it's like the fun money, right? That me and the girls get to spend, or the money that provides for Emma's jujitsu classes or Juliana's cheer uniform, that kind of stuff. And there was a time that I got really, really sick and I couldn't do anything. And so you were able to step up and take care of all of that. I mean, I was in and out of the hospital for almost 3 months. There's times I was in the hospital for 10, 11 days. And when I got home, I couldn't even bathe myself. And so you were able to take care of not only the finances and working, but taking care of me, plus our 2 daughters, and homework, extracurricular activities, and all of that. So during sickness is definitely a time when men, you need to be there, right? You need to, do everything that you can. Another area is I'm with my girls so much, taking them to school, picking them up, doing homework with them, doing extracurricular activities with them, cooking for them, that if they get in trouble or they do something, sometimes I don't have the energy to be the one who gives the consequences,
The
right?
enforcer.
Yeah. And so there's times where I'm like, hey, I don't know how to deal with this situation, and I need you to go talk to Emma, or I need you to go talk to Juliana. You guys need to figure this out. Like, you come up with what consequences she can come with. You have that conversation on where she went wrong, what she did wrong, so that I don't have to do that, right? I yell at them probably 20 different times throughout the day. I can't do it anymore. Now is your turn. But it's just, it's just based on different situations. And I think you running and taking the lead on certain things just kind of goes based off of what I'm just tired of doing, at the moment, or what I've done for so long. And now it's time for you to, roles to flip flop. So I think in our marriage, there's a lot of flip flopping roles. So, yeah.
Awesome. In chapter 18, authority is covered, and this is referring to appreciating his desire to serve and lead. In chapter 18, Dr. Emerson Eggerichs tackles authority in marriage. And don't worry, it's not about the man being some kind of dictator or ruling with an iron fist, unless, of course, he's holding a remote. Instead, he points out that men have this natural desire to lead, protect, and serve their families. Kind of like how Steve led some of us towards graduation, except, without the whistle and the constant yelling of kill. Eggerichs explains that authority in marriage is less about wearing a crown and more about wearing the responsible adult hat, making sure the family is moving in the right direction. It's like a team captain who motivates and encourages, not someone who constantly is barking orders from the sidelines. For women, understanding and respecting this leadership helps build a strong, supportive relationship. When both partners are on the same page, it's like the team working perfectly together. Everyone's got a role to play, and nobody is trying to steal the spotlight. The chapter wraps up with a key point. Authority and love are like peanut butter and jelly. They work best when they're together. Men need to lead with love, and women respect that authority. It keeps the marriage from feeling like a power struggle and more like a partnership. So no need to call the shots all the time. Just make sure everyone's playing their part and working toward the same goal. When I'm taking the lead, do you feel respected and loved?
Absolutely. This kind of goes hand in hand with the last question. If I can no longer emotionally do something, and you're able to just be like, I got this, no worries. Yeah, absolutely. Like, not only is it a huge load taken off of my shoulders, but that's why I have a significant other. That's why I have you as my husband to help me where I am, failing or struggling, or just I have no motivation there, or I literally can't, So yeah, absolutely. You're picking me up in times where, I'm vulnerable or I need help. So yeah, you're supporting me and you're carrying me through that. 100%. Yeah, I probably feel the most respected and loved when you do those things.
So I'm crushing it.
Yeah, you're crushing it.
Thank you for the appreciation. These chapters remind us that, like an endurance running or choking out our friends, each person's role is essential for the relationship to work. When us husbands feel respected and our wives feel loved, it's a winning formula for a strong, fulfilling marriage. Time to throw the perfect pass, men. So here's my questions to you. Respect versus love. As a man, which do you find more essential in your relationship or your future relationships? Respect or love? How do you like to receive each? Second question, how comfortable are you with taking the lead in your family's decisions? Does it ever feel like too much pressure? Or do you find purpose in leading? Last question. In your role as a leader of your family, how do you ensure that your leadership comes from a place of love and not control? How can you show that you're leading with care and respect and not dominance?